everybody, and welcome to another episode. Oh, my elephant with a heart. So today will probably be the last or the second last. I'm just about done the fall deep cleaning, the reorganizing, just to make the flow better. And I will give you a tour of where I'm at right now. The bookcase is up and it's filled, but now my rack's almost empty. There's a bunch of stuff out in the living room that is giveaway. So I'll just take you through all that, and that's what today's video is going to be about. It's going to be just about I'll do my review of this past week, and I will give you a quick look at where I'm at. And by the end of next week, this should be all finished in history. I may even, I've already brought out some things that I want to do on a video. It's not going to be continuing the journals. The journals will be on pause. I want to make some embellishments and ephemera and all that in order to put it into the journals. So I've put the journals on the journal shelf. I have a shelf just for journals. I'll show it to you later. And so I'll be going through that and finishing them. And as I finish them, I'm going to have a container that I put them in and put them away temporarily. And then I'll decide what to do with them after. Maybe I'll keep them all. I don't know. But just for the rest of this year, which is only a month and a half left, and probably January, February, that's all I'm going to do is, so I will be continuing the journals. I still want to make the dyed paper. I still want to show the one paper that I created, paper, I should say page, or you could say paper because it's a paper that I use as a page. Anyways, going down that rabbit hole. Anyways, so first we'll do the review. So last week's video was on Saturday. I believe I mentioned we went to IKEA. And then we had dinner at IKEA. That was on Saturday. So, it was a nice quiet afternoon, take your time, and enjoyed company because my girlfriend came with us. And then after we dropped her off with her stuff and we headed home, I realized, oh no, I forgot to buy the shelves. I got the cabinet, but I forgot the shelves. You have to buy them separate because they don't know how you want to design it, right? So they don't sell it, the shelf unit, the cabinet, and then with let's say 4 shelves. They don't do that. Shelves are separate because they don't know what you're going to be doing with it. IKEA is very much for you to be hands-on, for you to know what you want and your design. Anyways, so then on Sunday we had to go back to get the shelves, but it was my partner's birthday on Sunday. So we went to IKEA, got the shelves, came back, and then we went for his birthday dinner. So that was pretty much that day done. And then on Monday, I cleared the area for the shelves. I set up the shelves, the unit, the bookcase. It's actually a wardrobe cabinet, but because it's more shallow, it's only 14 inches deep. I call it a cabinet. It's not really, I guess you could use it as a hanging of clothes, but it's part of their wardrobe cabinets. But because it's only 14 inches deep, I see it as a bookcase. Just to clarify, in case I used the wrong word. All right, so all right, so I made the space. I set up the cabinet. I stuck what I wanted on the bottom. Then I put in the next shelf. Then I did the beads. Then I did the next shelf. And then on the top, I have my 2 containers of ribbons stuck in the shelf. So I would fill the shelf. I would I would figure out what goes on the shelf. Then I would put the shelf in. And oh yeah, when I went back to get the shelves, I only got 4 shelves. And I realized I thought 4 would be enough. The other one has 5, but it has papers on it. So I figured papers take more room. So I was wrong. I needed 2 more. So when did I go back to for the other 2? I think it was on Wednesday, Thursday. I ended up going back for the other 2. But on Sunday when we went to IKEA, I got 4 shelves. So I started with those 4. Actually, I think that was between Sunday and Monday I did all that. But then I had a big gap in the middle because I needed 2 more shelves. So then I switched over and I got rid of my seasonal containers. Like, for your decorations for Christmas, Easter, and all of that. I had 4 Rubbermaid containers. I'll show them to you after. Like, they're a good size. Well, 3 Rubbermaid, and then 1 was a little deeper. It was another brand. And then I had 3 like this size, maybe 8-inch by 12-inch kind of containers, 6 inches deep. Like, they're not as big, but I had 3 of those too. And that was all my seasonal decorations. There was a couple of the containers that wasn't completely full. But the 2 Christmas ones were full. Easter and Halloween, not so much. It was maybe halfway. Easter was 3/4 to full, somewhere in there. And then I had some other ones too. So I went through all of that and I put it into 4 IKEA Calyx containers. I'll show that to you later also. The black cloth bins that go in the IKEA's Calyx cabinet. So I had 4 of them. I emptied them and I went through all my seasonal stuff and I stuck whatever I wanted to keep. I started off with ornaments and ribbons. Not ribbons, but like the garlands. Those 2 were separate. And then there was I ended up doing, I think it was Halloween. And then I put, because that stuff is strictly Halloween. You can't use that on any other occasion. So I in the 3rd bin, I put all the Halloween stuff on the bottom. And then I would put other holiday stuff on top. And then I ended up with, I think, some Christmas items that were strictly Christmas. So I stuck it in the 4th bin. But these bins only filled halfway because I got rid of a lot of stuff along the way. And so, but because my goal was just those 4 bins. That's it. Get rid of those containers. And so yeah, I went through the whole process. And if there wasn't room for something, I would then consider, okay, well, what am I going to get rid of? Do I really want to keep this item? Then I have to get rid of something else. So those 4 bins are full, but it's all the decorations. I brought my tree back out. I think I mentioned that last week. So my artificial tree, my little one, is on top of the Calyx cabinet, and the 4 black bins have all the decorations. I still need to clean that up and set up decorations for whatever the next one is, probably Christmas. But the 4-week the Advent for Christmas, the 4 weeks, it's coming up pretty quick. So I'm like, I've got to figure this out, before that, because then I follow I have a 4-week routine that I do leading up to Christmas, and I got to take out my little wreath with the 4 candles, and then you have the Christmas candle in the middle. Like, I got to get that pulled out. So in order to get to that point, I needed to downsize my seasonal, because I didn't want to do it during that time when I actually pull it out. I wanted to do it beforehand so that I can enjoy that process, right? Um, yeah, so I did all the seasonal stuff. So then I was left with four the regular sized totes and then three containers. Um, so then I had to empty those four totes, which I used the three container, like I had put everything just on the couch, and then I started emptying the containers with the seasonal. And then once they were empty, I had the three containers that weren't that big. Like, it wasn't a tote. Totes to me are the bigger ones, the Rubbermaid, the Sterilite, those bigger ones. A container is something that's smaller. So even though it was a Sterilite container. Yeah, it was a Sterilite container. There you go. Never mind. So, yeah, so I used those to put the dining room stuff, like the tablecloth, the cloth napkins, my oven mitts, my aprons, like all that kind of stuff, because I don't use it right now. Um, so I have that all into those little containers, and I stuck them up in the closet, because a lot of the containers that I was cramming up there are way too big to go up there. So I'm like, why am I trying to cram these containers up there? And I just get annoyed, and things fall, and then I have to clean it up. And, if it's an open container. So I decided to use the smaller ones, and I may buy more of the smaller ones. But I can't foresee anything else that I need containers for. So there's one row, there's nothing doubled up. It's just one row of containers plus my traveling suitcase. That's all that's up there. And honestly, one of the containers are empty. I don't think I have anything else to put up there. You know what I mean? I have room to grow. So I'm going to leave that as is. So those little containers, I cleaned them, I filled them, and they're up there. The bigger ones, I cleaned them in the bathtub. I tried to get off the name, because I used to write on the containers like Halloween, Easter, Christmas, red and green. I had a red and a green, because green was St. Patrick's Day and Mardi Gras, because I like the Mardi Gras decorations. So I did decorations for Mardi Gras. Not that I celebrate it, but I just love the color and the energy in, with Mardi Gras. So I had a green container for St. Patrick's Day and Mardi Gras. I had a red container for St. Valentine's, like Valentine's Day, and for Canada Day, because I live in Canada. And then I had, like the Easter, the Halloween, and two for Christmas. And it used to be all across the top above my desk, in the house. Moving here, I put it into the storage room. That's part of the apartment. But Scott needs the space. And plus, I'm trying to downsize everything. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, that's a long story just to say I went through the totes, repackaged what was in it that I wanted to keep. What I didn't went on the folding table to go out the door. Then I went through the seasonal. What I didn't want on the table is ready to go out the door. Yeah, and all my linens went in those three containers, and they're up there now. I can still pull it out at any time, right? All right, then Tuesday, the painter came. There was some cracks in the walls, and so the building takes care of that. They plaster it, sand it, and paint it. And they have guys that come in that are contracted to do that work. So he came on Tuesday. He spent 4 hours here, roughly. And he did all the painting and everything. So that's done with now. And then Wednesday, we were supposed to go to IKEA. Well, there are days I wake up and I'm in so much pain. And there are other days I wake up and I'm fine. And, I do my exercise and let's go do stuff and, just go, go, go. But then there are other days where it's like I don't get enough sleep, or I don't get good sleep. And so I wake up and I just, like, what's that word? Yeah, anyways, I just, some days are just not good. So we canceled IKEA to get those other two shelves. We canceled it for Wednesday. I spoke to one of my daughters for like 2 hours to catching up on news. And then I did make dinner that night. I made a bunch of food. I did meat sauce where I put extra veggies in it and pasta. I also did cabbage, onion, and carrot soup. I made those Knorr's pasta and sauce, the bacon carbonara we love, so I made that. And yeah, so I did soup, meat sauce, and pasta, and the bacon carbonara as a side. Um, and then I figured whatever we don't eat, like that doesn't really go together as a meal. The soup with, and then the spaghetti, the pasta, and meat sauce, that might be a meal, right? It's a 2-course meal. But I just did the bacon carbonara in case, because Scott needs a lot, like my partner, he needs a lot of calories because he has Huntington's. And with the rapid movements, he needs a lot of calories, more than the average person. And so I like to, when I am cooking, I like to make extra if I can, if my back allows me to. I don't like cooking. And I think it's because of my back. Like I'll start making the meat sauce, then I'll put it on low and I'll go sit down, for like 15 minutes. Then I'll go and do something else, and then I'll go sit down. Well, sometimes I'm leaving something on the stove, even though it's on low, it starts burning on the bottom, So with my lower back pain and my neck, sometimes it's just, I just can't do it. But yesterday I put in the effort. I fought through the pain. I popped a few Tylenols and I got through it and I got it done. So that was yesterday. That was Wednesday. So Thursday we went to IKEA. We did a few errands. We went to 4 places. My girlfriend came with us again. And then that's when I added the 2 shelves. And I started, like my wheelie cart ended up, like only the top shelf. Everything else was empty. That wooden cabinet that I had, that nice cherry wood, I ended up getting rid of it and used the wooden crates from IKEA, 3 across and then 1 on top, because it has more storage than that other one does. I have to thank everything by storage space, not by how nice it looks, right? For me to make things look nice and colorful, I put things on my wall. Or like on top of there, I might, like those nice jars, I have the nice container for the paintbrushes. I have a nice, with a fleur-de-lis on the one with the ink, not daubers, but like the ink, you know what I mean, like to do the inking. That's the way I add. I have a couple of handmade flowers I made. That's how I like bring in pretty decoration kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I have my wall hangings, my pictures, the shelf I decorated. That's how I do it. That cherry wood file thing, it took up so much space. It did not give me enough storage that I needed or the way I needed it. And so, yes, it's beautiful. And that's why I bought it originally. I thought it would be so nice on my desk. But, here we are, a couple months later, it just doesn't work for me. I need something with more storage. So that's the way I look at everything I do. Like when I'm rearranging, I'm thinking storage and convenience. Like those containers up there. Those smaller ones are more convenient for me. Whereas the bigger ones, you're getting older, you can't lift heavy things anymore. So to use one of the big containers to put all that stuff in, it would be harder on my back. So I have the smaller, which also fits better up there, right? Because I only have about this much space. I'd say maybe 8 inches. So anything that is taller or wider than 8 inches, it's hard to get it up there, especially if it's full or if it's heavy. So the smaller containers are easier. Anyways, enough with that. So on Friday, which was yesterday, I scrubbed the 4 plastic container, got off all the writing on it. I did some more organizing in my room. I emptied the whole left side of my closet. And I put everything that didn't have a home within here, I put out in the living room. Like I have a whole bunch of containers out there, like leftover containers, the locking lid ones, because he doesn't like them. My partner, he doesn't like those. He likes just a regular, Ziploc or that kind. Um, but I like the locking lids. So I have them in a basket that is out there. Um, yeah, just stuff like that. Whatever didn't have a home in here was out in the living room because I knew once I empty that section, I then have those 4 plastic totes, maybe some other containers that I've gotten rid of. They're all out there so that as I put things back in my closet on that side, I can take from what's out there. And then at the end of it all, I'll see what's left and then I'll decide, do I store it? Where do I store it? How do I store it? Maybe I want to get rid of it. Well, then it goes on the folding table. And then once that project is completely done, then everything on the folding table, I sort, like whether I take it to my girls and have them pick through it. Maybe it's something that goes back to his sister. Maybe it's um, something that we know goes directly to a charity. Things like that. So my folding table, it has stuff underneath, stuff on top. As we get rid of stuff, and then we decide from there. There's a couple of pieces that he decided that he wanted to put downstairs for in the building if anybody in the building wants it. And they ended up taking it. So if not, he goes back the next day and he disposes of it, whatever way we see fit. So anyway, so that was that. Um, so the left side of my closet was empty, and I still had energy yesterday at the end of the day. So I packed 1 container of house things. So that's another set of curtains that we don't have anywhere to put it up. But I love the curtains, so I won't part with it. Um, some extra pillowcase liners, like pillow liners, with the zipper yeah, for the pillow. And then I have a couple of pillowcases that I love the color, the things like that. And then there's a second one that's my personal things. Like there's a couple of dresses that's one size too small, and I love it, so I will not part with it. I have my bathing suit and the cover ups for my bathing suit. It's winter. I don't need it. It's in there. That kind of thing, right? So I have those 2 packed. I have my 1 folding table and my step ladder. And then, yeah, so that section is done. Now I'm working on the upper section, which I'll probably do either later today or tomorrow morning. We do have another dinner to go to tomorrow. So because for dinners, my partner loves to go out to eat. And so what we did was last Sunday, we went with my girlfriend. She really wanted to spend his birthday with him. His birthday. She wanted to spend his birthday with him. Yeah, that's right. So her and her partner came. I and Scott went. So the 4 of us had a nice dinner for his birthday. Then I take him out for a separate birthday dinner, and his sister takes him out for a separate birthday dinner. So that way he gets 3 birthday dinners. all within a week or two of his birthday. And he loves it because he loves to go out and eat, right? And he doesn't have to pay for it. It's all being treated by somebody else. You go out for your birthday to a restaurant and you prove that it is your birthday, you get a free meal. He did get an appetizer, which went on my bill. I paid for it. But his meal was free. I believe his dessert was free. His drink was free. It's just anything above that you have to pay for. And that goes to any restaurant. Most restaurants will give you a free meal on your birthday. So if you, plan it right, you could go for 2 or 3 birthday dinners on one day. Mind you, you'd be pretty stuffed and you probably wouldn't eat for a day or two. But you know what I mean? Like, even if you just go to one place for a salad with some garlic bread, you go to another place for a steak dinner, you go to another place for a dessert, you get paid you get a free meal. So if one place doesn't have everything you want, go to 2 or 3 different places. As long as it's on your birthday and you say it's your birthday, you get a free meal. And I'm sure they would appreciate it if it wasn't a whole meal. Right? They save money because you're going to go somewhere else after. They don't need to know that, but I'm just saying, Anyways, you know how I can just go, right? Anyway, so that is it. We're on today now. Today's Saturday. I just want to finish that section, clean up the living room, and then tomorrow's his dinner with his sister. And yes, I'll be going with, I believe. So Monday, I might look over the space and do a little bit more tweaking. But if I'm not mistaken, next week we'll be back to journaling. And I really appreciate those of you who have stuck with me through this. I do this every spring and fall. It's my deep cleaning. But because I'm moving things and deep cleaning and finding dirt every day during the year in my travels through the house here, I look for things that we don't need that we can get rid of. I question everything I look at. Do I really need this? Do I really need this? Like, I'm constantly, I'm in that mindset now because I've done it for so long that everything I look at, I've got to go through that because I don't need to keep all that. Like right now, the reason why I said it, there's a file thing on the back of my bedroom door, and I have all kinds of papers in those slots, like it's for paper. And I'm thinking, I don't need all that stuff there. I need to go through that stuff and organize it better. And then if it has to do with my YouTube channel, well, I should be able to put it all in one binder or one big notebook. Why do I have all those pockets? That thing I should be able to get rid of. You know what I mean? So sitting here looking at the camera, it's right behind you. I should be able to get rid of that. Anyways, so that is my week in review. But now I will we'll go in the living room first, and I will show you my giveaway pile, giveaway/donate, because it's all at the folding table. And I'll show you the couple of containers and a table that is still left out there that I still have to bring in here or get rid of, whatever I decide. And then we'll come in here and I'll show you where I'm at in this room. All right, so hold on and I'll be right back. So here we are. This is the folding table. It used to be in my room. So since I don't need it in my room anymore, it's out here now. And so that's all the things to get rid of. And then down on the bottom there, that tote there is a lot of seasonal decorations to get rid of. That tote is to be gotten rid of. That basket. And then there's that cherry wood box or file thing I was telling you about. And yeah, so there's some plant stuff there too. most of it is crammed into that blue container. Some items are already taken out of here. So, sorry, I couldn't show those items, but yeah, some of it's already been taken out of here. The things that go to the thrift store, right? And then here, there you have a blue Rubbermaid container that is still empty. There's that table. I put the shelf down. There's a shelf right here that's supposed to be further up. It's 2 shelves there on the bottom because I'm trying to figure out to put my filing cabinet under it, and then I'll have like a table surface on the top. But I don't know how that's going to work because without the shelf on the bottom, it's what gives it strength and support. And without it, I don't know that it will be secure. So I have to figure that out. And then down here is some items. We'll go this way. So the white crate there has all the plastic containers. The ones I said are the locking lids. And then the black bin next to it is a bunch of empty containers, like they're cardboard ones, not plastic. So one's paper product, a cardboard type, and one's plastic type, which I could use them for storage too, right? And then in this cabinet, you see how the same black bins, there's 4 of them. If I move this, that's the Calyx cabinet, and those are the 4 bins. That's all my seasonal decorations. If it's not in there, then I don't have it. And then there I have the games. That cubby up here, I still have to sort it out. I put the Christmas movies and music and books there. That's actually my exercise stuff there. So I have to figure that compartment out. And then on the very top, you can see my trees back. Yay! I miss my tree. So yeah, I will have to go on a step ladder to decorate it because that cabinet's probably 4.5 feet tall. And I'm only 5'3". So I think it's my nose or it's just under my nose. So I will need a step ladder to decorate it, or I can take the tree down, decorate it here on the table, and then put it back up. I could do that too. And then that Christmas cup and saucer along with the birdhouse, those didn't fit in the bins and I don't want to part with it. So I'm trying to find a way of storing it year round. I was thinking maybe putting it with my plants in the plant area. And then I did bring that shelf there. I don't know if I showed it to you on a previous video. Right there with the elephant and the letter A. That was in my room and I brought it out here. I don't know if I showed you that before, like on my previous video. And then my bistro set is there. And I still haven't put the plants in. Where's my finger? Right there in that wooden thing on the wall. I still haven't put my plants in it, but I found 4 jars that fit in there. So now I just got to take my cuttings, clay pellets, and water with the cuttings, and they'll root while they make that thing look pretty. Oh yeah, and then of course, here's the blue bin that's left. It's the only one left that's empty. All right, so now we're done in here. Oh, there's some things there on the couch too. This was a towel I used for the bins when I was drying it. But I got some stuff here, some papers, textured wallpaper, 2 of them, paper rolls, and a plastic protector roll. So that stuff still needs a home too. All right, so I'm going to pause you and we'll go back into the bedroom. Well, the office. Okay, so I'm back. Now, you can see there's a light blue and a dark blue bin. That's the house and the personal. And then the bags on top of it, one has shopping bags, the pretty boho one. And then the ice cream one has plastic Ziploc bags that I use. And then when I don't need it anymore, I put it in there. So I reuse the same ones and I don't keep taking new ones. Plus putting less plastic in the landfill, right? Instead of like, because I'm not just throwing it out when I'm done with it, I'm actually keeping them and reusing them. And then this is the same. This is the filing cabinet. I want to put that other table on. There is room to shift my bed down so that there's more room for that table. But I have to figure out if that'll work or not. I have no idea. And then the rest is all the same. I have the cutting boards and the quilting things and the gluing thing, and that's all the same. That there's still stuff on that table. That's Scott's old desk because he got a new desk. And so he gave me his old one. And so that's why I got rid of the folding table, because I no longer need it since I have his desk now. And his desk is a little bigger than that folding table, by about 7 inches wider, but the same. Oh no, I think it's like a few inches deeper, or it might be the same deeper, but I know definitely lengthwise it's 7 more inches. So, I can do a lot more. Underneath is not so crowded now. Just the stuff that's on the front of the desk, like those wooden crates, are staying. But the stuff along the front are things I still have to deal with. The bag right here in the box, the black bag, I've been looking for a new purse because mine is slowly starting to wear, and I know it's going to break soon. So I like the way that one looks with the colored ribbon on it. But the type of, it's like a one strap backpack kind of thing, and it's very bulky and it hurts my back. I used it for maybe 2-3 days and it hurt my back. So I'm returning it to Amazon. So I have to do that return. Yeah, so that's the way that table has turned out. And I'm really happy that there's less clutter under the desk. And then we'll go to this wardrobe cabinet. Let's see how far we can go. I do have you on the tripod. I'm not holding you, so I don't know how much. All right, so there we go. So on the top is that gray case. That is a wrapping paper case from IKEA. I thought that would be, instead of having that 5-gallon bucket, holding wrapping paper, and the wrapping paper is too tall, it couldn't fit under anything. It was just really like in my way. So I got that wrapping paper case from IKEA. I think it was like $15-16. And yeah, so all my wrapping paper is up there, the ones I'm keeping. And then the 2 bins of my ribbons. Then the next shelf is all the journals I have made or in the process of making or want to make. So everything on that shelf. When that shelf is empty, I'm done everything. But that'll never happen because I'll always find more to do. All right, and then the next one down with that pink pouch, I think it has strawberries on it. I have my CDs in the back because I do have an alarm clock that plays CDs, and I do have my favorite music. And sometimes I want to listen to something specific, so I have the CDs for that. I also have music on YouTube. I have music on Spotify. It all depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Do I want to listen to random music? Do I want to listen to specific music? Because music's pretty much my life. I love my music. It energizes me. Anyways, that's another story. So then I have the white bin and the strawberry bin. So those are more supplies, which I can always go in detail later if you want me to. And then there's two different white bins, and then the shallow one. The shallow one is all my strips of paper. It's a skinny long container. Hold on. Skinny long container from the dollar store, and it's all those strips that you cut off when you're cutting down your paper, mostly 12 by 12s, but there are others in here too that you cut down, and you have the skinny long strips. Well, you can do things with it, so I just collect them in there, and then every now and then I'll pull something out. That last bin are like focal points, or like embellishments for making ephemera. And then my next shelf down, this one, I've got tags, clothing tags. I've got the playing cards, tags. There's some ephemera that is not completed, business cards. There's some ephemera bases that I created with scraps. So all that is, so I'm thinking I have a camera, a thing to put my camera on. This thing here, I can put my camera on it and I can work here, or I can put my camera on this one and work at this desk. So that was my point, was I wanted to be able to work on either desk, because some projects you need more room. Anyway, so that's why I'm glad I have the two now. And then of course under that one underneath is the beads, and then under that is wood pieces, wood projects, and some of those studio artist painting boards. Because I was thinking I could do some like rainbows and just like basic. I'm not an artist, but I like to try and do some, maybe just blotches or something, and then create paper with it. Or you can do a printout. You can glue things on it, make your own like design, scan it onto the laptop, and then print it in an ephemera size. So it's your base for your ephemera. It's just that those boards are not the right size to do paper copies, or to do like for pages or ephemera. They are an in-between size. So I would either enlarge it to make a page or shrink it down to do an ephemera card. But for that, I'd have to do it through the computer. Anyway, so that's all on the bottom, the wood. And then there's a bin right there. That's the one for Scott's journal. And then this is my usual. There's napkins in the bottom, punches, tools, and stamping. And then that one is paint, and that is the plastic placemats to do coffee dyeing paper. And there's also like doggy pee pads that I use to protect my surface. There's some other paint supplies. It's basically just your supporting supplies for your painting. And then I have my ironing that is strictly for crafting. And then behind it is a baking pan for paper dyeing. My parchment paper. Yeah. And then under here, the gray bin here, that's all the family photos. I got a photo printer now, so I want to put that all, like organize it. electronics. That is for my stencils, which are out right now, but they go in that purse, that briefcase, and my shipping supplies for when I do a contest or whatever. And then my desk is still the same. My colored pencils, my laptop, my glues, my tools. And then above it is still those 6 things that I haven't, like, I made the boo-boo. I didn't fix the boo-boo yet or write anything on it because I'm still trying to design the room. And then up there is all my, well, there's my clock radio that does CDs. And I have some stamps, a container of letter stamps on top of it. Then this is my stamps, like the flat silicone ones. Some of those foam boards. Supposedly, if you use a foam board with your stamp, it's supposed to stamp better. This is the spirograph, which I still want to experiment with that. This is a stamping platform. This is Treasure Books. She has her own YouTube channel. I bought her book. That's the channel is Treasure Books. Treasure Books? Yeah, Natasha. Treasure Books, yeah. So that's the book she published. I bought it. And then this is stickers and gems that stick on. And then more stamping over here. They're more the wood stamps. And right here, it's more stamps. Letters. I think I have another pack of letters there. They're all different sizes. And then I'll just move you for a sec here. And then there you have my backup glue, my paints, ribbons with the wire in it, my photo printer, well, my photo scanner. You either save it to an SD card or you save it to your laptop. You can connect it to your laptop or your computer. But it's basically just a scanner. And when you put a negative through it or whatever slide, it'll show on the little display right there. It'll show you what it is. And then you can either save it or not. It'll also scan photos. There's a little door on the top here where you can put your photo in. It'll scan it and save it onto your Google Photos or whatever photo app. If you want to edit them, you can edit them. Anyways, and then there's my printer. And this rack is now empty. I just got some cardboard down below. Pasta, applesauce, notes. Those I collect. Which I need to stop collecting because my bins are full. But like these kind of things where you can use the cardboard to make ephemera, make ephemera with it. I cut the strip, and there's a strip there. Pasta box. You just open the bottom. You find where it was glued, and then you separate the glue, and then that can be either a journal cover, and you cover it, or it can be, you cut it up into ephemera. And then this one's my yogurt container. And so this too, you can cut it, you can either, use, I would probably fold this to like a 1-inch binding. And then you take the other part and then you glue it on so that it ends up like this, your book. But it would be only 1 inch. And then you can make a little journal with it, or you use it for ephemera. This is all that's left. So this stuff doesn't belong there. I just stuck it there because I needed to collapse it and put it away. On the top there, that's all that's left on this whole rack. That's empty. That's empty. There's only this left. So once this is cleared off, I don't need that rack anymore. Which is good because if you look at the amount of space going in and out of my room, there's not very much space here. Like right here. Sometimes I bump onto this. It's only like maybe 18 inches. Let's find out for reference. I know I don't have to do this, but just for reference. So from this corner to this corner, it's 21.5 inches. Right here. But you have to go by this way and then turn. If you go this way, you then have to turn. You know, like imagine that not being there. Plus, I can see all my backup, the stuff I've been saving to make journals and ephemera. See down there? That's gift bags, Amazon packaging. There's some gift bags, delivery bags for ordering out food, pasta boxes, cereal boxes, all kinds of things in there. They're all to be upcycled. And like those, you can tell those 2 bins are getting pretty full. It's time for me to start using them, which is why I'm thinking I'm going to put a halt on doing the journals, and I am going to start doing embellishments, ephemera, pages, you know, that kind of thing, things to put in a journal, because that I don't have that much. I have to make it as I go. So I figure we'll do some mass making of that kind of stuff. And I've got plenty of supplies there to do upcycling stuff too, right? So anyways, and that's it. Oh yeah, and then on the back of the door, when I was looking at the camera, remember I was saying, I don't really need that. See that right there? This thing? I used to use it for my 12 by 12s, but now I have so many 12 by 12s, they don't fit. So I was putting stuff for, I don't know, stuff for YouTube, some notebooks, you know, oh, that last paper there is building information. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that thing. And then on the bottom there, those 3 pockets right there, that's from it's for a car to put on your visor. My partner decided that he didn't want it anymore. And I'm like, oh, I can use it. No, get rid of it. Like, that whole thing should be gone and empty. So that's another thing I'd like to do maybe today. Yeah, those are baby souvenirs. That was my headband when I was a little girl. And then, oh, hold on. Let me put this over here. So this was a headband. It's wool. I can tell because it's been washed and it shrunk a bit. You can tell by the way the weave is almost seared together, the stitches. You can tell that's wool. It was washed the wrong way and it shrunk. Maybe my mom tried to block it because it doesn't look like it was small if I was a child. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that was my souvenir when I was a little girl. And this is from when I was a little, I guess after I was born. I don't know if somebody made it for my mom or what, but that was mine. I guess that's how they measured me when I was little. Yeah. And then souvenirs on the above it. So that's my baby souvenir. The compass, I love compasses. If I could afford it, I'd buy some real fancy ones, but I just love compasses. And then there, this is my headset that sometimes I'll use if I want to listen to music a little loud and I don't want to bother Scott. I will put my headset on. Oh, that's where my backup reading glasses are. I thought I didn't have any more. Anyways, I bought more. I buy cheater readers from the dollar store. And then my sunglasses. And then these are souvenirs that remind me of my grandkids. This one, that was a game that we played for my oldest granddaughter's baby shower. And then this one was from my grandson's. No, this was the reveal. You had to guess if she was pregnant with a girl or a boy. And so you got these based on what you picked. And I chose boy because I thought she was pregnant with a boy. And she was. So this one reminds me of Christopher. And then this one is something my mom had. But Claire, my youngest granddaughter, loves the pink. She's a pink girl through and through. And this is kind of pink, kind of rose gold. And I thought that reminds me of Claire. So Valerie, Christopher, Claire. Yeah. And I have a couple of other knickknacks and some over there. I won't go into all of it. I just wanted to show you, this is where I'm at. I've showed you the clutter along with the organizing. Like I've showed you pretty much everything. So you know where I'm at. Well, I probably should have done that spinning at a lower level, right? So you can see, like even my desk, well, I just threw that cardboard on there, but yeah, see, the only problem I have is because I only have this deep of surface. It's wide, it's 55 inches wide, but it's only like maybe 14 inches deep. Hold on. Let's see what the mat says. Yeah, 13 3/4. So we'll say 14 inches. And then I wonder what the other one says. Because I do have the wooden crates here. This is to the edge. It's almost 16. So this one's a little bit deeper. And yeah, so here I have my pockets and tucks and stuff, some envelopes. These are projects I want to do mass making with you guys on video. And then these are my post-it notes, and then junk. This is, I don't know, more stuff to organize. It's just junk. And then over here, here's some of the seasonal stuff. Like these, St. Patrick's Day stuff. These are all like sticker type things. I don't use it for decorations. I might do a crafting project with this and make this as a decoration on the tree. But the stickers I won't, so I can use it for my journaling. And this, one of the hearts came off the ribbon, so I wanted to put it back on. But I may put this up on the wall 24/7 because I really like that. You know, just things like that. These are craft things. This is Christmas crafts. Similar to these shamrocks. I have Christmas tree and a green Christmas tree and a red stocking in there. That's the same foam kind of thing. And then I also have for Halloween, I have these things to paint. I bought it from the dollar store, but I never got around to it. So I need, I'll probably set aside a bin for these seasonal crafts. I don't feel comfortable, like there's no room, number one, but I do not feel comfortable putting them in with those decorations because they're not ready to decorate the tree. They are a craft project that you have to create the decoration. Once I've created it, then I can put it in those bins if I choose to. But creating is done in this room. So, yeah. And then I just have, you know, just clutter everywhere stuff. My calculator tape is back here. I use the ones that are brown first. I do have some that are newer, that are still white. See how white it is? So I'm letting it age. In the meantime, I use these. String. This is some stuff for binding journals because I use embroidery floss for binding journals. This is another project that I'm sure you remember from a past video. This is my binding bin. I have my threads and my needles all in here. That's to do binding. Whoops, I didn't even This thing. So I have this yellow thing inside that holds the needles. It holds the needles like that, just on material. And then I have thread underneath. I have more thread. And yeah, this is a souvenir from my mom. I had bought this for her years ago. And yeah. So I just got to clean up. Anyways, you know, it's been an hour, so it's enough. I am going to let you go. I hope you enjoyed this tour. Those are all the journals I have to do. So we'll stop it right there. And remember, do what makes you happy and everything else will fall into place. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Love to hear your input. Yeah. So take care, everybody, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.